Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. Yeah, it's still me. All right, look, this is my post-market wrap-up on this Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. What do I want to talk about? Hey, how about the markets? How about silver? Let's start off with silver right now. Silver took off like a rocket today. Actually, it was a stunning rise, and we're not done. Again, expect them to play their game. We will continue to play ours. You understand? They cannot indefinitely keep the price of physical silver and physical gold suppressed via the derivative in perpetuity. It can't happen in this environment of exploding. There's not even a word big enough for it. Exploding debts and deficits like we have never seen in world history. Let me let you in on a big clue here in case you're new or you don't know. Global debt. Forget about it. When I mean that we haven't seen anything yet, I mean we haven't seen anything yet. Understand what is happening. The coordinated efforts of all of the world central banks, the Federal Reserve being number one. Why? We're the hub, the new America. Here in the hub, the new America, the Federal Reserve still holds the world reserve currency. It will not change. The Federal Reserve, with its tentacles around the entire world, is fulfilling their end game. Their end game is what? To be the lender and buyer of last resort so they can own the entire world. That is their plan. This has been the grand plan since the inception and creation of central banking. Understand? It's in full swing. This engineered, scamdemic, it's an incredible thing. I know I said just the other day, if the government can convince you that 3 buildings in New York free fall collapsed after 2 planes hit 2 buildings, they can convince you of anything. Okay, that's the truth. Now, going back to the twisted environment we are in, being that debts and deficits are going to explode to heights that I don't think many people actually understand. Like I've said, for example, the Fed's balance sheet, the one we're allowed to see, which is now over 7 trillion, will soon be 21 trillion and climbing. That's where it's going. With regard to their second balance sheet, understand people, look, this is common knowledge. People like Jim Grant, the watcher of the Federal Reserve, I happen to respect the man a lot. He's spoken about the second balance sheet. Everyone knows the Fed has 2 balance sheets. Most corporations have 2 balance sheets. There's the public balance sheet, and then there's the other one. With regard to the Federal Reserve's second balance sheet, I mean, we can only imagine what's on it. It's obviously much higher than the balance sheet we're allowed to see. That alone is probably, if I had to throw a number out, I'm going to say it's $60 trillion. 60 trillion on their second balance sheet, and it's probably more than that. Maybe it's 90 trillion. I would say it's at least 60 trillion. All right, that balance sheet, you're not allowed to see. No one is allowed to see. Not even the President of the United States is allowed to see. The only people that are privy to seeing their second balance sheet are Fed presidents or the Fed chair himself. That's it. This will never, ever be made public. This is why the Fed will never, ever be audited. The Fed operates in any manner they want to. All right, I've covered this before. They can lend to anyone they want for any reason in any amount. They can use US dollars to do this. The Federal Reserve has been, this is common knowledge too, financing wars around the world, since their inception. Where do you think they're getting the capital from? You think countries are burning up their own capital? Absolutely not. It's the Fed. The Fed is the core of it all. Understand what's happening here. The Federal Reserve runs the earth. okay, via its reserve currency, via the petrodollar, via the fact that they have the United States military under their thumb, and every single politician is a puppet of the Federal Reserve. The good cop, bad cop routine, it's all theater. It's all theater. Okay, whoever sits in the White House or anything connected to it, this is all, theater for the people. It's the Fed, the hub of the world, that controls it all because they control the cash. I think you understand that. At least you should. Okay? As long as the Fed's balance sheets, plural, continue to blow up, and they're going to, stocks will go higher. Today, for example, the NASDAQ was the only major index that finished in the negative. It needs to give back. There's no doubt about it. Dow positive, S&P positive only by a fraction. You understand? Now, silver and gold, again, these are anti-debt units. You understand? I think you know this because I've been beating this for like over a decade now. Understanding what's happening here. Understanding that the game is to inflate or die with regard to central banks. Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to inflate and inflate and inflate and inflate and inflate. And then, again, a completely new system. It's already there. They have it already. It's a matter of flipping a switch. Today on this planet, there exists $1.93 trillion in actual printed cash. The rest of it doesn't exist. It's not on the elemental chart and it's in fantasy land. So all they need to do is flip a switch and we got a completely digital, blockchain-based dollar. That's what the goal is here. Massive, insane dollar devaluation is coming. I think you all get that as well. All right. There's no doubt. This is the plan. This has always been the plan, and that's the way it's going to work here. And as the dollar gets devalued, like today, the dollar got slammed today, and that's another reason why silver and gold put on gains like this. Crude oil, energy, the entire energy sector. I mean, it's crazy, but I think you know it when you see these things. When I'm not around talking about it, I know you must sit there and go, wow, this is exactly what Greg said. Because it's so easy. The environment we are in makes it exceedingly simple for you and I to capitalize on everything. I want you to think about this. We have a dead economy. We have small businesses that have been culled on an epic scale. We have Great Depression levels of unemployment, and the stock market keeps going up. Let that sink in for a moment. This should bring you to reality of what's happening around you. It's a rigged game. And because we understand that it's rigged, it's like taking candy from a baby for people like you and people like me. Whether you're a trader, whether you're a stacker, whether you invest in cryptocurrencies, you know where this is all going. In my view, metals are going to skyrocket along with cryptocurrencies moving forward. The stock market is going to balloon as the debt balloons, both of the Federal Reserve's balance sheets. Okay, that's how it's going to go. More easy money. The Democrats, the Republicans, the freak show between the two of them, that's all it is, talking about more easy money in the trillions. Meanwhile, none of them who are calling for more trillions will tell you where they're getting the cash from. I'm going to give you one guess. Exactly. The Federal Reserve. We're broke. The United States is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. We got nothing. We have to borrow it all. It's all by design. It's all been in the works for multi-decades. You understand? I really hope you do. And this brings me back to why I've been explaining since time immemorial to bet against this debt, become your own central bank, hold hard assets. You gotta be diversified, people. You can't just be in one thing or another. Again, what's the greatest investment in the history of the world to Greg Mannarino? It's physical silver. You know that. But you gotta be in other things too. You gotta own things. Hard assets, things that are actually yours, that you don't have a loan on. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's not yours anyway and can just be taken away from you. I mean, that's the difference between holding like a US dollar right now and a cryptocurrency. Let's pick Bitcoin. If you own a US dollar, if you own, you don't own that dollar. If you're holding a dollar, you're holding that dollar for the Federal Reserve. It's theirs. They own it. It's owed back to them, plus interest that they create out of thin air. You hold one Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency, you own it. There's the big difference. You understand? That's the reason why I feel like there's value in these things, because you own them. You know how I am. I tell you all the time, you must own things. I own all kinds of things, and I intend on owning a lot more things moving forward. Seriously, that's the game. That's how you play it. All right, so again, rally on Wall Street except for the NASDAQ here. Silver, I mean, really, what a rally today, almost 7%. Gold, crypto's taking off here. You can see where we are going as our politicians, our elected officials, they really do have our best interest in mind. They're going to go to the Fed and beg. Let me show you what it looks like a puppy dog, to the Federal Reserve for more cash, although they don't have to beg for it, because the Fed presidents are like, well, how much do you need? With their little smirk on their face, because nothing on the planet, nothing, not even sex, makes a Fed president happier than any politician calling for lower rates, calling for a weaker dollar, calling for more debt. That's their goal. They want to own it all via this mechanism, okay? And they're using every single one of our politicians as a puppet to make it happen. All of them, from the president on down, okay? Like I said, that whole thing, the president, whoever it may be, the entire Democratic Party, the entire Republican Party, it's all theater. It's all theater. And once you understand that, this market opens up to you. And what will happen is you'll watch your bank accounts just go like this. To the moon and beyond. Seriously, play the game. It's just a strategy. Once you realize the game, and if you're locked into a party, you can't see the game. It's like, no, I must worship this one. I must worship that one. Then you're done. You're lost. And that's what they're counting on. That's what I'm counting on. People like me, my lions, we're going to fleece you like you have no idea. You have no clue about how bad you're going to get destroyed in this market. And everything else, you're losing. You're already probably lost. You're going to continue to lose as this moves forward. It's just that freaking simple. All right, look, pretty much that's it. I think this has been an important video. Did I cover everything I wanted to talk about? I believe so. With that said, I'm going to let you all go. Please share the video. Get it out there. And love you a lot. See you in the morning.